What's going on, guys? It's Steven and Brett from the BS Show, and we're here to talk about UFC 231, which is happening a couple weeks from now. We just thought we'd get a jump on this fight card since it's probably one of the best cards this year. Has a couple of title fights on it, a couple exciting fights that we've been excited for a while. And yeah, let's get into it. So, which one did you want to talk about first?
A fight that Steven and I did a breakdown like 3 months ago. The MMA gods came down and shocked us in the wiener and said, no, you're not watching this fight. So then Max Holloway's been hurt like, 3 fights he had to pull out of?
Mm-hmm.
So we just kept getting poked in the cock every time, like, you can't watch this. And it's here, and it's Max Holloway against Brian Ortega. A real quick backstory, Max Holloway is on his way to being probably the greatest featherweight of all time. He's beat Jose Aldo twice, who was the consensus greatest of all time. And then you have a surging Brian Ortega, who is just running through people out of nowhere. No one really knew this kid. He came on the scene. He had great jiu-jitsu. And then he just knocked out an MMA legend, Frankie Edgar, in the first round. So Brian Ortega is kind of the new blood, I guess you could say, even though Max Holloway is still super, super young.
Who won the fans' heart with his amazing personality. Dude, just seems like a legitly cool dude to hang out with. So.
I agree. And they both, they
both
seem like really good guys. Max Holloway trains out of Hawaii. Brian Ortega, Southern California, I think.
Yeah.
So this fight, though, me and Steven did a breakdown a couple months back. We both agreed, which I'm sure it's still kind of the same. Max Holloway's stand-up is just ridiculously good. If you haven't watched Max Holloway fight, he took Conor McGregor to a decision and then beat Jose Aldo. He beat, who else did he beat? He beat Anthony Pettis. I mean, this dude's beat like the who's name of MMA. But then you have Brian Ortega, whose jiu-jitsu is just amazing. He trains with the Gracies. He's a stud. Once he gets a hold of people, it's almost like you see a whole different level.
Yeah, his nickname's T-City for a reason. Triangle City. You know? He's got a wicked triangle, and if he catches you on the ground, you're not getting out of it. You know.
Yeah. And, I think Brian Ortega probably knows, I think Max Holloway probably knows that's not a place you want to be. But Brian Ortega knocked out Frankie Edgar with an uppercut. But, I was thinking about that today, and Frankie Edgar was a lot smaller than Brian Ortega. Max Holloway is a long, lengthy guy. So is Brian Ortega. But that uppercut it's not as overpowering to me because Frankie Edgar's a little tiny guy. He's like 5'6",
Think about that clinch scenario, too, because that uppercut was in the clinch. What didn't Frankie want in that fight?
To get into the clinch?
To get taken down.
Yeah.
So in that clinch, he wasn't thinking about striking. He was thinking about staying away, you know what I mean, so he doesn't get taken down. And that just left him wide open for an uppercut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true. And I think Max Holloway's wrestling, I want to say Max Holloway's like a blue belt or a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, but I think he's got pretty good wrestling. He's got a couple submission wins in the UFC too, but his main bread and butter is striking for sure.
Well, he's been UFC caliber since he was 17. You know what I mean? He was young fighting in the UFC, so he's fought the who's who, and he understands the game like no other. There's a reason he hasn't been taken down in so many fights, or you know what I mean?
I think what separates Max Holloway and Brian Ortega has nothing to do with fighting. I think Max Holloway's mindset is just different. It's like that Hawaiian breed of, I can overcome everything. I'm tougher than my opponent. It doesn't matter what you say, I can do it, which is why he had to pull out of those fights. He tried making weight on a week's notice with Khabib. Like, he doesn't care. He's not afraid of anybody.
His motto is, it is what it is. You know what I mean? He kind of like, he's from Hawaii. He takes everything like a wave. He doesn't try to force it or control it. He just rides it. Whatever happens, he goes with it. You want me to fight this heavier dude on 2 weeks' notice when I've been eating freaking barbecued pig, straight off the beach? Sure, I'll do it. He just goes with the flow. And, when you're in a controlled chaos environment, it's good to be comfortable and just go with the flow. So you're not always overthinking. You're just relaxed, and it's second nature to you. He's been in there since he's a kid. So in the cage, he's comfortable being under those lights and in a chaotic environment like that.
That's what I was just getting ready to touch on is, will being in the bright lights of a title shot affect Brian Ortega at all? Because Max Holloway, this will be his fourth or fifth title defense. If he wins this fight, he'll be tied for the longest consecutive winning streak in the UFC. I believe he's currently at 12 wins. So, he's a vet. Even though he's young, he's like 25.
Who
24?
else would take a back-to-back fight versus Jose Aldo?
Nobody.
You know what I mean?
Nobody. I mean, not necessarily nobody, but he had more to lose than he had to gain.
Exactly.
And he did it. And he looked better the second time.
Let's just put it this way: when Brian, I don't want to talk bad on Brian Ortega because I love the guy, but when his opponent fell out, did he fight him?
No. No. And which is kind of paying it forward because that's how Frankie Edgar lost.
That's how he earned his title shot.
Yep. So
already Brian Ortega is showing that he doesn't want to lose his opportunity.
Absolutely.
He's already showing that he has a lot invested, and you should have a lot invested, but at the same time you could see it weighing on him.
Yes.
That this is his moment. Like, he'll have no other moment, so he wants to make sure to get this one.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. I think you're right. So, with that being said, we'll do I'm going to say Max Holloway's going to win. I love both guys. I really do.
I want to break it down a little more because there's a lot that goes into this fight.
Okay. I think that not just saying the classic striker versus grappler, because, I don't think that it is. I think that Holloway's a far superior striker than Ortega is.
Do you think if Brian Ortega pulls guard and gets Max Holloway to the ground, do you think there's any way in the beginning of the round? Do you think Max Holloway gets out of that round?
I think so.
You do?
I think Max Holloway's good enough, and he's probably been doing this fight camp, because they were supposed to fight 3 or 4 months ago, and he probably knew in the back of his head it would come back around. So I would be willing to bet a champion like Max Holloway, and the vet that he is training his ass off in jiu-jitsu, trying to get every single scenario possible. But with that being said, I'm sure that he knows in the back of his head, hey, I don't want to go in deep water with him.
Do you think the mishaps of the last couple months or so on Max Holloway missing all these, getting sick and not being able to fight, and just the stream of bad luck he's having, you think this will affect his head going into this fight?
No. I think that it's like when you have a cold and you won't stay home and rest, and you're constantly out and you're running and you're riding your bike and you're playing football and you have no shirt on. You can't get rid of that cold because you're not allowing your body to rest. And I feel in such a short period of time, Max Holloway was trying to fight everybody. And he was always in a fight camp. He was always cutting weight. He was always
So he just
training.
put his body through a lot,
Yes.
and he's big for that division.
Yes.
Okay, final question. What round?
Dude, I have this overwhelming feeling that Max Holloway is going to be too overwhelming in his striking. I feel like Max Holloway.
He takes a while to warm up.
He does, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like once he kind of feels it out, he's gonna stuff a couple takedowns.
Then he's gung ho. He's taunting, which I love. I love anyone that taunts. Anyone who thinks those people are disrespectful. It's just fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I love when people.
Well,
taunt.
and let's be real though, Brian Ortega doesn't really shoot for takedowns. It's always kind of when it happens in the clinch, or they take him down, and like when he choked out Cub Swanson, he was against the cage, and he jumped and went for a guillotine.
A lot of those times he gets rocked and falls on his back, and they jump into his guard, and bad choice.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean?
So I feel like Max Holloway knows this, and I feel like he's going to be very precise with his strikes.
So you think he rocks him, knocks Brian Ortega down? Is he going into his guard, or is he saying get up?
I think Max Holloway would go down because he did it with Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo's a high-level black belt. I think Max Holloway is competent enough to know, don't get overzealous. If you knock him down, pick your shots, take your time, because he knows that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna pull him in. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 5-round fight. I'd say late, probably in the 4th round, 4th or 5th round. I don't think it goes to. It might go to a decision if Brian Ortega plays it safe and doesn't get caught in exchanges. But that's what Holloway wants to do. He wants to get you to strike with him. And if Brian Ortega decides to strike with Max Holloway, it's a long night.
So I'm with you. I think Max Holloway is gonna win, but I do see it going late because I don't think Max Holloway is gonna jump into Brian Ortega's guard. I don't think he wants to. You know what I mean? Why risk it? I think if you're beating him on the feet, let him get up and keep beating him on the feet. And that's why I think it's going to go farther than it should.
Yeah.
Because unless he knocks him out, which Max Holloway doesn't really knock people out. He just wears on him, overwhelmingly hits him until it's a TKO. So,
I agree.
Maybe 4th or 5th round I see TKO.
Well, and Brian Ortega's, I keep saying Brian, they're both long, but Max Holloway is long with his striking. He can keep you away. And to get someone to the ground, you got to be in close. And Max Holloway's hands are so quick and so sharp. If Brian Ortega even if he tries to get a takedown, he is going to struggle with it because his hands are so quick. And if you look, sorry, I'm getting long-winded, but if you look at what the guys that Brian Ortega fought, Clay Guida's very small, Frankie Edgar's very small, Cub Swanson's very small. And I don't mean stature, I mean height-wise. So all these guys, he's been way taller, way longer, he can reach him. Well, now he's fighting a Max Holloway who's just as tall, just as long, just as athletic, just as quick. So the body type is a lot different.
And anytime you're in range, you have hands in your face.
Yes.
Because Max Holloway doesn't keep his hands off you.
No.
You don't have a chance to set up power or anything because you're getting jabbed in the face or hit in the body or there's just always something being thrown at you.
Yep, I agree. I completely agree. So I'm going to say Max Holloway. I'm going to go on a whim. I really feel like it's going to be a decision, like an overwhelming decision. Max Holloway wins just by pure volume of strikes and doing damage. But that's an easy route. I feel like he's going to win TKO. I think his overwhelming volume of punches, he's going to hurt him. And then, like he did with Jose Aldo, just, get the stoppage. So, what about you?
I'm the same. 4th round TKO, I'm going to say. So, yeah. That's the fight card. It's a longer video than normal, but we wanted to put it all into one video because we've been kind of flooding our channel with videos, but we're excited and we want to keep this momentum going because we're really enjoying the YouTube thing. And yeah,
well, we appreciate everybody watching. We are now at 79 subscribers. Yeah. So we appreciate all the support, all the people that like our videos and comment and watch. We really do appreciate it. We enjoy doing this. We don't get paid a dime. Well, Steven doesn't. I get paid a lot. I make a lot of money, but anyways, sorry, dude.
I don't get paid in dimes.
So anyways, thank you for watching. Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe to our channel. Give us some feedback. And then if we do not hear from you guys, you better watch the fight card. There's 2 big fight cards this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Check them out. And then we'll be doing, hopefully, a post-fight breakdown on December 8th. It just depends on how many beers we've had, because those get pretty... those get pretty bad sometimes. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching.
Peace.